good. My 32 buttons to go live. I think we're good. Got a jam-packed stream today. Actually, I'm gonna have a lot of topics, a lot of smaller ones today, kind of similar to yesterday. It's all right. My girlfriend thought I was talking to her, but I was talking to stream. Right, rookie mistake. Yeah, we got a lot of AI updates today, and actually we'll start with that. 11 Labs, who they've been big in making like AI voices, like making AI speak in a way. They launched a conversational agent, I guess, like a conversational agent that speaks. So we'll take a look at that, watch a little video, and then we'll jump into the news. Right, we can't hear it. All right.
Speak is now easier than ever. Building AI agents that can speak is now easier than ever.
Hi, what would you like to talk about today?
Introducing conversational AI with 11 Labs. Build, test, and deploy, all in one platform for the most natural way to communicate with technology.
See, like, I actually think having the voice, adding voice, especially for business, adds much more utility to it because, I mean, you could actually talk to customers and, versus kind of doing a little chat in the corner and then they're just like chatting with support and it's like AI. I think talking adds definitely a different level to it.
Hey, can I check the status of my order?
Yes, of course. Let me check for you now. Your order is due to arrive at around 2 p.m.
Building conversational AI agents used to be immensely complex and demand huge resources, but not anymore. Start building your agent by creating a voice or exploring our vast high-quality library to discover one that's perfect for your application.
Hello and welcome to DHK Online. How can I help you today?
With a wide range of the best LLMs to choose from, you can then upload your knowledge base and define the goal and personality of your agent. Or alternatively, you can integrate your own server to take full control.
Hi, this is Eric from Bound Events. How can I help?
Hey, I accidentally bought a ticket twice. Could I get a refund, please?
Sure, please read out your reference number and I can begin to process that right now.
This is actually a lot simpler too, because one thing that like large language models are really good at is synthesizing data, taking data in and then transforming it into like a different format. Like I feed in things all the time to the AI and just be like, hey, make this into bullet points or make this into like a JSON or like a, you know, some sort of coding like format, and it's really good at doing that. And OpenAI has like their functions where it's, you know, kind of you could ask it questions and then they'll give you back an answer in like a pre-formatted way to be able to get more consistent like answers, like almost a function, you know, spits out something that's you expect in a format you expect. And so something like this is a great use case for a business for kind of like a conversational one, like speaking out like reference numbers and stuff. It could easily kind of synthesize that and spit it out in the way behind the scenes to like query to get information. So yeah, this is actually like not as hard as you'd think.
The system will analyze and evaluate your transcripts, providing you with valuable insights, conversation.
Yeah, just kind of like exactly like they did. It's like you could like entity recognition, like whatever. Like you could say like, hey, give me all the dates from like this like conversation, and it'll easily pick out and get all the dates.
Conversation playback and the ability to test and define success criteria. And it's all possible in 32 different languages.
Wow.
Welcome to DC Medical. How can I help?
Hello, ¿hablas español?
Sí, por supuesto que hablo español. ¿En qué puedo ayudarle?
And best yet, effortlessly deploy your agent into websites with a single copy and paste. Or leverage our SDK for creating apps, services, or even video games. So whatever you're creating, get to production in days, not months. And all with enterprise-grade security to keep your users' data safe and secure. It's time to explore the huge potential of conversational AI with 11 Labs.
All right, let's see. Did we put anything else? No. Huberman Labs now dubbing with 11 Labs. It's cool. Oh, I guess like you could. I imagine that another thing that they could do is kind of like the machine translation, kind of like Reddit did, and that we looked at in their earnings call, where they used AI to translate a lot of their content into other languages, which allows them to reach other markets. Seems probably like Huberman Lab, you know, huge podcast is probably dubbing in other languages to reach more of an audience, using 11 Labs. That's actually a great way to use this. But this game character, I'm gonna.
Another seeker of knowledge finds their way to my humble archives. Do you seek knowledge of ancient artifacts, forgotten prophecies, or perhaps something even more adventurous?
Yeah, I think I'd want something even more adventurous. Maybe something in space. That's all. Okay, that was their demo's not working. Maybe my mic wasn't working. No, it was like jumping up. Let's get Will. Let's use Will.
Another seeker of knowledge finds their way to my humble archive.
It actually sounds so much worse on here than it did in the videos. In the videos, it sounded like they had a voice actor like reading out lines, and the generated one on here just sounds bad.
Another seeker of knowledge finds their way to my humble archives. Do you seek knowledge of ancient artifacts, forgotten prophecies, or perhaps something even more adventurous?
Something more adventurous. What the heck? Microsoft Sam, that's so funny. Yeah. But I do imagine once kind of gamers get over the AI whatever, like especially generative AI, like the art one, yeah, okay, I get like, you know, until they figure that out, but like voice one, imagine having like a character in a role-playing game. You can just go and actually role play and like talk with them, like you could pretend you're, you know, some, you know, space cowboy or whatever, and you talk to some guy on a station and you could kind of hear his life story. He might, you know, you could kind of converse with him. Maybe he has a temper and like he gets angry at you and like you're like, okay, sorry, and you kind of you could like talk him down if you're, you know, that kind of like, imagine you could actually do that in the game. Like that'd be crazy. That'd be so cool. It adds so much depth to everything. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like an optimistic view of like with like video games, how I have for like conversational AI. Like it'd make an open world game like so much more, like it would just add a lot more layer to it. Like I'd be more motivated to play a game knowing that I could kind of go into it and like have these conversations with like these otherworldly characters that, I don't know, I feel like, you know, video games create unique experiences, and like, I don't know, it would just really extend that. But yeah, this would be cool as a game character. We just have to kind of get over that stigma, I feel like. Immersive gaming experiences respond dynamically to players' actions and choices. Intelligent NPCs can offer quests, provide guidance, even adapt their personalities based on players' behavior, and enhancing game depth and replayability. I mean, even just like imagine playing a game and like you only like characters in a certain way. You could kind of like have the game customized, you know, have the AI customize it to your preference of playing or like things like that. Like, I don't know, I feel like that'd be cool. And it doesn't even have to be voice speaking too. Like you could actually have it be like you know, picking choices, like you know, just like Skyrim or, you know, whatever, kind of just picking dialogue choices too, but they're generated on the fly to kind of match or go with whoever you're talking to. And they would add so much more depth too, because you could have it take in you know, your experiences too as a player, and then it could be like, oh, like, you know, so like every time you talk to it, if you're playing on a different character or you go and do something else and come back, you could like, it would know that, and you could kind of be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, like what's going on? And you could be like, oh, I went to, you know, did this crazy thing, and then that would add on to that relationship. Yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty optimistic for something like that in games. That'd be cool. But it's still recording. I can't see. It's like But yeah, anyway, I thought it was cool to highlight this now that it's like generative conversational AI. And I do wonder how much it costs actually. 30 minutes. That's like nothing. I guess though it's a lot of times it's like just for like businesses, like support agents, it's a lot smaller pieces. But dang, it is kind of pricey, but oh, this is like on sale or something. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. All right, just want to highlight that. Let's check out this because this is related. Google's new generative AI video model is now available. Now this is like video in 3D. Like yesterday we covered worldlabs.ai, which is like makes 3D environments from 2D images. We have OpenAI Sora, which is the video model, which is actually rumored to be coming out in like in December because OpenAI is kind of doing a I don't know, like a ship miss, and it could include the OpenAI's video model. 12 days, 12 live streams, a bunch of new things, big and small. 12 days. Oh, that's cool. It's like streaming. Oh no, The Verge. I got the paywall. It froze. God damn it. Anyways, yeah, so Google obviously has to compete. I don't know. And I'm sure they've been working on this behind the scenes, but they launched VO, which is their video generative video model. And yeah, Sora is technically not out yet. But again, similar views to what I said yesterday. Like, I feel like this video stuff is just a cool toy right now, and it's fun to mess around with. And I don't really think there's much more beyond that right now. It's just entertainment. I don't know. Like I feel like the market isn't really there. They're kind of just doing it to show off, and then hopefully the market forms around the video image. Although like the market is going to be like like scam videos, you know, those like AI generated like short videos that are like super provocative, or like, you know, do some crazy shit, but it's just AI generated, like misinformation. Like that's like the market I see for AI generated video. And it, like, I could see it being like, you could like generate like specific B-roll too. I could see that for like creators, like having things in certain themes and such, but like it's probably hella expensive and not really worth it to pay. I don't know. So anyways, let's see what Google has here. So VO, Google's latest generative video AI video model, is now available for businesses to start incorporating into their content creation pipelines. Yeah, this is the content creation pipeline. After first being unveiled in May, 3 months after OpenAI demoed its competing Sora product, VO has beaten it to market by launching in a private preview by Google's Vertex AI platform. I mean, that's like not that fair. It's like, okay, it's like they just rushed it out, but then they put it to like preview. It's like, oh, like, yeah, it's out, but only like 2 customers could use it. Like, I don't know. Is it really that important just to be the first to say that? Interesting. This dog one looks good. Like, this dog one looks legit. I'm trying to like to see all like any weird things. Yeah, I don't know. This one looks good. VO is capable of generating high quality 1080p resolution videos in a range of different visual and cinematic styles, from text or image based prompts. I see. When the model was first announced, these generated clips could be vaguely beyond a minute in length, but Google doesn't specify length restrictions for the preview release. Some new example clips in Google's announcements are on par with what we've already seen from Veo, without a keen eye and extremely difficult to tell that the videos are AI generated. Yeah. Like this one maybe, but even this one, like it even though it's like animated, it looks like pretty good still, but this one definitely no way. I don't know how you'd be able to tell. Like, I actually don't even know. Maybe like down here, I think. If we look at his paws here, it looks a little funky. Yeah, a little funky down there. But yeah, this is hard to tell. The latest version of Google's Image Gen 3 text-to-image generator will also be available to Google Cloud customers via Vertex starting next week, expanding its initial US release on Google's AI Test Kitchen back in August. Users on Google's Allow list can also access new features like prompt-based photo editing and the ability to infuse your own brand, style, logo, subjects, or product features into generated images. I see. So yeah, I can now see more of a marketing like use case for stuff like this. It's like, you know, why pay for the production to go shoot it all yourself when you could generate it with like your brand and logo and image mixed into it? Like this is good because this is like Ultra Music Festival, and like this is believable for like a EDM concert. Because like oh maybe that's an example of them infusing a brand into it. A slow motion of marshmallows roasting over crackling fire. Chestnuts. See, this now is not believable because like, bro, there's nothing happening to the marshmallows. They're like, what are they, like rubber? You know, like what is this? We got a big, like, what is the background here? Google says Veo and Image Gen 3 carry built-in safeguards to prevent them from generating harmful content or violating copyright protections, though we found the latter wasn't difficult to bypass. Everything produced by Veo and Image Gen 3 is also embedded with DeepMind's Synth ID technology. Jeez. This sounds like some sci-fi, like, like bio, like cybernetic shit. Synth ID. A kind of invisible digital watermark that Google says can decrease misinformation and misattribution concerns. I have read that this might become more of a standard here too. This is Google's Veo. This is Google's DeepMind, the Institute. Or yeah, this is Google's generative video product, as opposed to Sora, which is OpenAI's product, which is the Verge is all funky now, which is supposedly might be released next month from OpenAI. It's similar to concept to Adobe's content credential system, which can be embedded into content produced by the creative software's giant own image and video generative AI models. With Google's video model now in the wild, OpenAI is notably behind its competitors and running out of time to make good on its promise to release Sora by the end of 2024. We're already seeing AI generated content appearing in ads like Coca-Cola's recent holiday campaign. No, I did not see that. And companies have an incentive not to wait around for Sora. According to Google, 86% of organizations already use generative AI are seeing an increase in revenue. That's interesting, but I mean, this is so broad, this like statistic, like, I don't know about that. All right, let's watch this. Created by Real Magic AI. Bro, I literally can't pause. Jesus. YouTube has been so shoddy lately. I feel like I saw some funkiness when we were in this image. Yeah, I mean, like, you could kind of tell this is AI generated if you look closely. Like, this truck is all weird. You can see. Like, what is this? So it's supposed to be a truck? Like, this truck's all funky too. Yeah, I mean, if you look closely, you could definitely tell, like, these houses just all kind of blend together here. I guess it's kind of separate, but fucked up trucks. Yeah, in the background, exactly. Space. Okay. Yeah, like, you just in that right here, like what are these, like? This just looks a little funky here. At least this truck. But it's kind of like if you like know what to look for, it's kind of easy to spot. And like if this is a commercial, it's kind of moving, you can't really tell in the moment. So like, I don't know, it's like, I'm sure it's actually fine. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, like, people are also his teeth. Like, look at his teeth. He has like one big front tooth. I don't know. This ship is already moved. Like, it's, you could share your oppositions now, but like, it's in motion. Like, yeah, I don't know. Now it's about finding like ways to like compromise. You could use this to gen something, then go back and clean it up. Oh no, yeah, totally. In save hours. Yeah, I think even Corridor Digital a while back did something where like you could essentially like feed in like an existing video and then have it stylize it into a like animation style or something that you filmed in real life. Like that's like a legit use case. But yeah, I mean, as soon as businesses realize that they don't have to pay 20 truck drivers to get the Coca-Cola shot, they're like, where do I sign, bro? Where do I sign? It's like, I mean, or they don't have to pay, a team of 50 VFX artists to get like one shot of a polar bear coming out of the water. Like, they're just like, yeah, like, why would I not use this? And it sucks though. I guess it's like, yeah, definitely as the artist it sucks, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. We live in a society, capitalism, like, they find the cheaper option, like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, VFX. I mean, even as like software engineers, Google said that like 45% of their code has been generated. Something like a quarter or something crazy. No, I don't want to speak on that. Google, how much of Google code is AI generated? Yeah, quarter of all new code at Google is now generated by AI. So I mean, like, even software engineers, like, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it sucks, but yeah, like, it's just, you just got to learn a different marketable skill. But also, I'm sure that there's there's still roles that for you there, like you're saying, like going in and tweaking things. And it's just going to start slowly declining. But yeah, and I do think that, this is a great time for the government to kind of step in. And if they want, to help, they could provide like, retraining, or some way to like get like, re-educate them in a different field, to kind of keep them relevant in the job market. I mean, it's kind of like the Andrew Yang, where like Andrew Yang, he wanted to like tax the corporations though, and then use that tax money to pay for like UBI or something. But I don't really think that's the best way to go about it. But I think the government paying for like retraining or something, yeah. But this is legit. This is what AI should be doing. They should be taking, I mean, AI. I guess this is what I'm saying. Like, AI should be taking the hard jobs that people don't want to do, like mining, dangerous jobs, like robots and AIs, and we're kind of going after these like low tier problems to be solved. Like we have humans that are great at this, and it's not like dangerous. So like, you know, I don't know. Figure out, you know, I don't know. I've shared this opinion before, and like I'm not to discredit like the hard work, but it's kind of, yeah, like the problem being solved here isn't really like too like crazy, but yeah, I guess we have to start somewhere. So they're learning the entire warehouse of people doing hand drawing shit. Yeah, I'm sure for artist stuff, but yeah, I don't know. And I think this is a problem. The no jobs problem though is it's going to continue to get worse. And that's where it's kind of like we're going into like a more, as we get artificial general intelligence, we get, you know, more robotic AI, like robotic type of like human-like robots that could actually do things in, you know, the physical world, that's using an AI for like reasoning and such, because LLMs are very good at reasoning. They're essentially just predicting, which is almost, that's, you know, how a human thinks. You know, we kind of make predictions and like, you know, have these things. Then it's kind of, yeah, we need to figure out what to do with all of these displaced people who, you know, lost their jobs to robots. It's like, okay, yeah, we could pay to retrain them, but, you know, we can't just not have, you know, huge portions of the population not like work, or we can, but we need to, you know, provide them with services like universal basic income, healthcare, other things, and the government's gonna have to step in. I don't really know. Yeah, and I guess, you know, like the neoliberal type, I'm sure, or like you know, the kind of corporatism type they expect the corporation to step in and allow, in like, you know, make up for that like lost job, the lost jobs here. But like realistically, it's just not gonna work out that way. And like we're gonna have to have some sort of like post-labor support, you know, like after like humans don't need to be laboring anymore, like what are the jobs going to look like, what's life going to look like. And I think it's going to be starting here. It's already starting with AI, with, you know, kind of jobs like this VFX artist, but it's going to continue to, you know, slowly work its way into other fields and displace more and more people. So I don't know, I think it's a legit thing that we're going to have to start thinking about. Fortunately, with, you know, a more conservative Republican president, you know, they want to support the more like corporatism route, but I just don't have confidence in kind of our large corporations to keep people on when they could just have an AI do the work for them. I don't, yeah, so I don't know. Anyways, yeah, rant over, but it's a legit problem that I'm just curious how the government's going to solve. Curious. I think initially the retraining is probably going to be the best, and then it'll be more of a UBI. After like there's just not enough jobs for people to get once AI's automated them. So anyways, yeah, so Google's been actually launching quite a few more AI things. I'm actually getting really hot, so I'm gonna take my sweater off, but this is the next one. Let me adjust it for the shorts bros here. This is kind of going to be, this is the next step too. We're getting world AIs. I don't know what you'd call them, but like I actually shared on stream where, like, you know, we kind of have a bunch of sensors throughout the world, and we could feed that sensor data into an AI, which is, you know, even a large language model or generative AI, which is very good at synthesizing data and doing predictions. And, you know, once they have more, they could perceive the like 3D space. We could get some crazy predictions with things like weather here. And I think even other things like forest fires, which I think we may even already have, although when we kind of get like there's a lot of randomness of forest fires starting, but like other patterns, I guess, you know, like, I don't know, I think there's a lot of data that could be fed in to be able to make some interesting predictions on like the actual physical world, weather being one of them. And I'm actually surprised the weather hasn't been more of a focus for AI, because predicting the weather would allow us it allows us a lot of opportunities for understanding like what's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of things that the weather stops, and so understanding, knowing like, you know, down to like minutes of when like bad weather is going to happen could be very like beneficial for, especially for hurricane stuff, like safety, but you know, for even more. So let me I'm dying right now. I'm so sweaty. Let me take my sweater off and we'll get into this. Ugh. Okay. Google introduces AI agent that can access that ACE's 15-day weather forecast. And it's interesting that this is an agent. I wonder why they made it an agent versus like just a normal generative AI or a large language model or something. I guess it could still reference the same model, but yeah. Anyways, GenCast from the company's DeepMind division outperformed the world's best predictions of deadly storms as well as everyday weather. GenCast. Is this like accessible to like everyone? GenCast predicts weather and the risks of extreme conditions with state-of-the-art accuracy. Let's actually just read from the Google, directly from Google first. New AI model advances the prediction of weather uncertainties and risks, delivering faster, more accurate forecasts up to 15 days ahead. So, yeah, because weather prediction has been pretty good up to like days going forward, and like, you know, there's been a progression over the years. I actually read something not too long ago about like about how like we have been improving weather prediction, like forecasting. God, this is Weather Channel. Weather prediction over the years. I won't be able to figure out what maybe it was on like Hacker News. Algolia.com. Weather. Go like past year. Yeah, here we go. This is what I read actually. Weather forecasts have become more accurate. We now need to make them available to everyone. Yeah, 4-day forecast today is as accurate as a 1-day forecast 30 years ago. So if we could jump that to 15 days, like Google said, or like this saying it's a 15-day, then that's a huge jump. I mean, that's crazy, actually. That's just to put into perspective, like what like the improvement, I guess. Okay. Weather impacts all of us, shaping our decisions, our safety, and our way of life. As climate change drives more extreme weather events, accurate and trustworthy forecasts are more essential than ever. Yet weather cannot be predicted perfectly, and forecasts are especially uncertain beyond a few days. Because a perfect weather forecast is not possible, scientists and weather agencies use probabilistic ensemble forecast. Probabilistic ensemble. Is this ensemble? Forecast. It's like a unit group of complementary parts.
Ensemble.
Probabilistic ensemble forecast where the model predicts a range of likely weather scenarios. Interesting, yeah. And I mean that seems to kind of be, yeah, okay, that's just how they normally do it. Which prediction is, you know, great for LLMs. Such ensemble forecasts are more useful than relying on a single forecast, as they provide decision makers with a fuller picture of possible weather conditions in the coming days and weeks and how likely each scenario is. Today, in a paper published by Nature, we present GenCast, our new high-resolution 0.25 degrees AI ensemble model. GenCast provides better forecasts of both day-to-day weather and extreme events than the top operational system, the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecast, ENS, up to 15 days in advance. We'll be releasing our model's code, weights, and forecasts to support the wider weather forecasting community. Interesting. The evolution of AI weather models. GenCast marks a critical advance in AI-based weather prediction that builds on our previous weather model, which was deterministic and provided a single best estimate for future weather. By contrast, a GenCast forecast compromises an ensemble of 50 or more predictions, each representing a possible weather trajectory. Interesting. I guess this doesn't really seem like new though, because I imagine like when you're just projecting like hurricane paths in general, like I sort of seen on the news where they have the different paths that it could be taking, but maybe it's built upon, you know, more than what they show on the news. Yeah, GenCast is a diffusion model. Oh, interesting. The type of generative AI model that underpins the recent rapid advances in image, video, music generation. Okay, so I'm trying to think diffusion model because they kind of talked about this a bit with Descartes AI, the Minecraft generative one, because they use a diffusion model too. However, okay, but I'm trying to think of how it actually works. Let's continue reading. If not, I'm curious, and we'll look up how a diffusion model works. However, GenCast differs from these in that it adapted to the spherical geometry of Earth and learns to accurately generate the complex probability distribution of future weather scenarios when given the most recent state of the weather as input. Interesting. So I guess it's probably something similar to where Descartes AI uses oh, actually, yeah, I think this makes sense because Descartes AI uses keyboard input to then predict what's going to come next, and it seems like they're using the weather to feed in, and then based off of those inputs, then they predict what comes next, and that's kind of what makes it the diffusion model. What is a diffusion model? Diffusion type of generative model, machine learning that simulates a difficult process, a diffusion process to generate new data samples. It is inspired by physical processes such as heat diffusion, where a system gradually changes from high concentration to low concentration of state. A diffusion model adds random noise to a given data distribution and then learns to reverse this process, gradually refining the noisy inputs to recover the original data distribution. I see. Interesting. Okay. That's why I'm talking about. It's just so good at synthesizing data. It's one great strength for AI, generative AI. To train GenCast, we provided it with 4 decades of historical weather data from ECMWF's ERA5 archive. This data includes variables such as temperature, wind, speed, and pressure at various altitudes. The model learned global weather patterns at a 0.25 degree resolution directly from this processed weather data. Interesting. I do think too, like there's only so much good data that we could probably feed the like models like this, because we only have, you know, started collecting certain data so long ago just because of technology. I mean, 40 years of data, like, you know, that puts us in the 80s. That's probably, you know, that kind of makes sense, I guess, for just based on computers. So, you know, as we go more into the future, it could understand more and more. We have more historical data, which could improve it. Although it'll definitely take a while. It seems like with just, you know, a few years at a time. Okay, setting a new standard for weather forecasting. To rigorously evaluate GenCast performance, we trained it on historical weather data up to 2018. I see. And tested it on data from 2019. Interesting. Okay, so there's still some room. GenCast showed better forecasting skills than ECMWF's ENS, the top operating ensemble forecast system that many national and local decision depend upon every day. We comprehensively test both systems, looking at forecasts of different variables at different lead times. 1,320 combinations in total. GenCast was more accurate than ENS on 97.2% of these targets and on 99.8% at lead times greater than 36 hours. Pretty good. Better predictions of extreme weather. No better decisions. I do wonder though what the compute looked like to train this, because even currently, just for weather predictions, you essentially need like supercomputer level like compute power to like run like simulations and stuff for weather, just because of like all the variables and such. So I wonder what it was like to train this. That's probably why they used like older data, because it's probably taken a while. Cost of protective action versus potential loss. Relative economic value, okay. Higher is better. Interesting. So obviously the earlier. No, this is relative economic. Cost of protection versus action, potential loss. Oh, extreme winds. Yeah, I mean, similar pattern. GenCast. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's better. Okay. Better forecasts of extreme weather, such as heat waves and strong winds, enable timely and cost-effective preventative actions. GenCast offers greater value than ENS when making decisions about preparations for extreme weather across wide range decision-making scenarios. And speaking on the computer, supercomputer thought, IBM actually owns. They own like a weather, like they like own the Weather Channel. Okay, the weather company they own. Yeah, who owns the Weather Channel? Yeah, IBM actually owns that, because you know IBM's like they have like supercomputers and stuff, and so like that's kind of like what they developed here. So it's kind of interesting that these like big tech companies actually getting into like weather, where you wouldn't really think so, but it's actually just they just have, you know, the compute to kind of do these crazy like forecasts, I guess. An ensemble forecast expresses uncertainty by making multiple predictions that represent different possible scenarios. If most predictions show a cyclone hitting the same area, uncertainty is low. But if they predict different locations, uncertainty is high. Got it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. GenCast strikes the right balance, avoiding both overstating or understating its confidence in forecast. It takes a single Google Cloud TPU v5 just 8 minutes to produce one 15-day forecast in GenCast Ensemble. And every forecast in the ensemble can be generated simultaneously in parallel. Interesting. So even it takes 8 minutes to generate one of the ensembles, and you know, and they're saying that they do like you know, let's say they do like 1,300, and you know they obviously could run them in parallel, but I guess that just shows like it's a shit ton of compute that they need. Traditional physics-based ensemble forecasts, such as those produced by ENS at 0.2 degrees or 0.1 degree resolution, take hours on a supercomputer with tens of thousands of processors. Yes. Wow, so that's interesting that they actually made it significantly more efficient, like way more efficient. Granted, the resolution was 0.25, but yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, I mean, literally takes supercomputers to simulate this. So yeah, that's interesting that they like a single Google server could just do this in 8 minutes. But that's only one ensemble, you know. So yeah, I wonder. I don't know now if time is the best measurement for efficiency. I feel like they kind of need like actually like compute, like power used or something, you know, because this could take longer but uses less compute power than like, you know, something like this running 1,300 times in parallel. I don't know. Advanced weather forecasts for extreme weather events. More accurate forecasts of risk of extreme weather can help officials safeguard more lives, avert damage, and save money. When tested, GenCast's ability to predict extreme heat and cold and high wind speeds, GenCast consistently outperformed ENS. Now considered tropical cyclones, also known as hurricanes and typhoons. Getting better and more advanced warning of where they'll strike land is invaluable. GenCast delivers superior predictions of the tracks of these deadly storms. 7 day, 5 day, 3 day. Interesting. Cyclone track. Possible paths predicted by GenCast. So this is probably on their training data. Interesting. Looks like Japan too. GenCast ensemble forecast shows a wide range of possible paths for Typhoon Hagibis. 7 days in advance, but the spread of predicted paths tighten over several days into high confidence, accurate cluster as devastating cyclone approaches the coast of Japan. Better forecasts could also play a key role in other aspects of society, such as renewable energy planning. True. For example, improvements in wind power forecasting directly increase the reliability of wind power as a source of sustainable energy and will potentially accelerate its adoption. In a proof of principle experiment that analyzed predictions of the total wind power generated by groupings of wind farms all over the world, GenCast was more accurate than ENS. That's interesting, actually. Wind forecast, yeah, to understand more like wind power, like actually how much we'll actually get from them based off of like wind forecasts. That's interesting. Next generation forecasting in climate understanding at Google. Wrap up. GenCast is part of Google's growing suite of next generation AI-based weather models, including DeepMind's AI-based deterministic medium range forecast and Google Research Neural GCM, seeds, and flood models. These models are starting to power user experiences on search maps and maps and improving the forecasting of precipitation, wildfires, flooding, and extreme heat. One downside of this, though, is that if you do live in a more like a vulnerable area to things like flooding, wildfires, this will 100% be used for by insurance companies, probably against you, because they'll be like, oh, well, our predictions show. I mean, they already do this, but like now they'll have even more granular prediction. We're like, oh, like, well, it's like you're in a wildfire according to Google's, forecasting, whatever. So like, yeah, we're gonna be raising your premiums because there's a 32% higher chance that you're gonna get have a wildfire burn your house down than last year. So and like this is already done, but like I don't know, I guess having more accuracy now kind of just gives them more ammunition to use. We deeply value our partnerships with weather agencies and will continue working with them to develop AI-based methods that enhance their forecasting. Would be nice for mapping flood plans. FEMA mapping is so bad. Yeah, I mean that's actually good use. Yeah, for things like FEMA and stuff. But yeah, no, exactly. Flooding. Their mapping's good, but they're getting their data sucks. Dang. Yeah, I don't know. FEMA seems like they could be doing a few things better. But interesting that their data. Yeah, I mean, if you like, imagine you don't even need to go to like the government though. You can just kind of go to this third party and like easily download forecasts for like a specific area. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, insurance. Yeah, like FEMA. I think of other. Every now and then, and it's a whole ordeal thing. But sucks. But it's cool that you actually get a. You get to use government data for something. That's cool. For one thing, they supply the training data. Oh, wait, okay. We deeply value our partnerships with other weather agencies and will continue working with them to develop AI-based methods that enhance their forecasting, like the NOAA, right? They're like our weather. They're like our weather agency or something, right? Weather.gov. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Cool. For one thing, they supply the training data and initial weather conditions required by models such as GenCast. This cooperation between AI and traditional meteorology highlights the power of a combined approach to improve forecasts and better serve society. But USGS data too, lots of stuff available there for free. Just takes effort to navigate through gov. Yeah, I see. Yeah, because there's a data.gov, which I've used a few times just to mess around with. But finding them is kind of hard. Oh, look, geospatial. Here's precipitation data. That's cool. But that's cool. Using I don't know. I just feel like it's cool to like use all this data that they've been collecting and like they put it out there to actually use it for something is neat. Lots of GIS stuff now. That's cool. Yeah, I love like kind of using data, putting data to use. Grocery store locations. Food Access Research Atlas. And so you could use it with like ArcGIS. It seems like they have it the API, so you could probably just hook it up. GeoJSON, that's interesting, like a format. It's a neat shapefile. Neat. That's cool. It's cool. And it seems like this is where they got their data to train this stuff on. GDB download or link it through GIS online. Sheet files are standalone. Ah, okay. Sheet files are standalone files. Interesting. Yeah, they have quite a few. See grocery store locations. CSV. Oh, it's literally, that's why it's literally like coordinates. Oh, they have addresses. This is neat. Wonder how many there are. 1 million rows. Geodatabase is a bundle of data. Ah, interesting. GDB, geodatabase. Interesting. They made GenCast an open model and released its code and weights. Oh, that's cool. As we wait for deterministic medium range global weather, we'll soon be releasing real-time historical forecasts from Gen AI. And previous models which enable anyone to integrate these weather inputs into their own models and research workflows. That's cool, actually. I wonder if it's free. But like this would be great to feed into an AI agent. So yeah, wait, where's this actual agent? They said that they released an AI agent here. Do you mind describing the new agent, which team calls GenCast? It's interesting they used agent, and there was not a mention of agent in this. Not even in this. Huh, interesting. But this is cool. See, this is what I'm saying, like this is a great use for AI because it solves a real world problem that we've had trouble, progressing on, or we've just been progressing really slowly. And we've made a huge jump with, by training, an AI model on something like this. And I think something like this will benefit humanity, like, no offense, much more than like, generative AI video that, people could just put slop into their marketing, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. But, I don't want to discredit like this stuff because this will eventually be great and we'll eventually use it for stuff and it will serve, humans great. But this will just provide benefit sooner than the video would. So I guess to me it makes sense to then put our effort into things like, you know, that are more useful for humanity right now versus like these video AI, generative AI model stuff. But I also think, you know, it's like business. I'm sure there's much fewer customers. I don't know, actually, fewer customers that would use this than the generative AI model, but I'm sure they could charge more for something like predicting the weather, although it seems like it's free. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting, but I can't discredit. I don't want to discredit them, I guess, still. All right, I'm standing up, though. All right, let's just continue on the AI news, because I have a few. I mean, essentially, most of this news stuff I've been covering has some AI relation lately. I just thought this was funny. And it's funny, but it's also kind of to my point of like, even the AI companies, like, people are just using it for things that are kind of like, you know, a little bit different, and it's hard to like nail down marketing for these things that kind of do like a bunch of shit. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. So it seems like that's what it's about, and it looked interesting. So let's take a look. The abject weirdness of AI ads. Question your questions. Like, okay. Looks like in LA or something, like question your questions. I do love the Claude like branding. It's like a bit more like natural. I get more authenticity from like kind of like their style of branding versus OpenAI, and they're kind of more like big tech vibe. I'm trying to find holiday gifts for my sister. I open a bunch of tabs. I want my wife's advice. That's browser company CEO Josh Miller in his company's latest ad for its new browser Dia. Okay, actually, this is the worst person to start off with. There's a word for that branding. Do you know it? Like the style? Yeah, this guy. What is this picture, bro? Come on. Trying to remember. All right, let me know if you do. Yeah, so this guy, Josh Miller, he started the browser company, which had this browser called Arc browser. And I was optimistic for this, but not enough to make me swap away from Brave, because I don't really... Brave Salt, like it's good enough. Brave in extensions add on things that allow me like to enhance the web browser. And so this Arc browser came along and kind of like was trying to shake things up. They did things differently, which is cool, but their goal was to create the next Google Chrome. And so what happened though essentially was they kind of abandoned the Arc user base to make this other browser that would have more wider adoption. And I just don't, you know, so people who are using Arc browser kind of felt like betrayed a bit, because it's like, well, then what, like, why would you even make this other browser if you're just going to kind of like abandon it now? Like what's the point? Like, why'd I invest in this, you know, this browser, and now it's just kind of like a side project for your company. So yeah, anyways, and so they kind of started this new browser that's supposed to be more, friendly to a wider audience, so they could get more people. Anyway, so I just think it's like interesting that they started with this guy, because yeah, he's not really, he needs to kind of get the company back on track. It feels like when you have a lot of your user base that kind of maybe doesn't really trust that you're gonna support the product that you said you would anymore. So anyways, I don't know. Consulting your spouse to find gifts for your siblings is a pure and, dare I say, sweet thing to do with the browser. but the new product he's showcasing is replacing Arc, a beloved browser that put Miller's company on the map. Not everyone is happy about the browser company's pivot from Arc to AI browsing, and the latest commercial inadvertently explains why. Yeah, I guess they explained it in much simpler terms. But yeah, interesting. I haven't tried this Dia though. I don't even know if it's out yet actually, but maybe I'll give Arc a try just to kind of not discredit them too much. But I don't want to give it a try if I'm gonna like it, then I'm not gonna actually like get updates for it. So instead of talking to his wife, Miller talks to his AI chatbot and asks the AI to talk to his wife for him. Bro, this fucking guy. Like, hey Jarvis, yeah. Like, I don't really want to tell, my wife this, so can you break it to her for me? Like, that's crazy. Hey, hi Valerie, hope you're doing well, said the AI chatbot posing as Miller in an email to his wife. I came across a few interesting products on Amazon. It continued, best Josh. Bro, imagine emailing your wife like this, bro. Like imagine emailing your wife like this. Like, what the fuck? This is crazy. This is not what I was expecting. Can't remember the term, but it's like an illusion of wellness or being natural, most applicable to food supplements, but it still feels like applies. Interesting. I could see that. Here we go. Let's ask AI. What word would best be described as? Gotta keep the professional with the misses. Yeah, marriage is a legal agreement. Yeah. Pseudo natural, pseudo healthy, health washing. Nah, I don't think these are it, but yeah, anyways, I'm just trying. Yeah, I mean, like, this guy seems like, the type to like remind his wife that like it's a legal, like it's a legal agreement. It's like, you took my last name. Like, chill, bro. The emails feel like something you'd write to a distant work colleague. Yeah, exactly, bro. Thank you. Rather than the way you'd speak with a loved one you see every day. While it's not an appropriate message, it's cold and could have been sent to anyone. Exactly, bro. This example from the browser company was the latest AI ad that told a different story about the technology than it had intended, but perhaps a truer one. It struck the same sensitive nerve that so many other AI advertisements have in the last year. In trying to promote AI, tech companies can't help but show how it removes us from the very activities that makes us human. Yeah, but actually. And honestly though, I feel like it's more so just bad marketing versus like it actually solving a problem, because like, yeah, this could be a legit problem, but like it's about like the like how you go about like designing the interaction. Like, you could do this in a more natural way that makes it feel like you still have a connection with whoever you're talking to. In this instance, your wife. They just did a shitty job of implementing it. Like, that's how I look at it. Apple AI ads so bad. I mean, I think the Apple AI stuff is in the same category too, where it's like, it's in the same categories of just like haha fun stuff, but like not really solving a problem. And so it's hard to market that when it's just like, yeah, bro, it's like you're trying to take out like, yeah, the human interaction between stuff to like do some cool AI generated stuff, and it's like, dude, that's just out of touch. MKBHD actually kind of looked at the Apple AI stuff, and he had a like a similar take where kind of what you're saying, where it's like it's like bad, like what, like it just takes away the human interaction part. Sociopathic marketing. Yeah, it's like literally. Yeah. Yeah, of course Miller could and probably should have customized the prompt to be warmer and address his wife as such, but that's missing the larger point. This one was like depressing. It was like dad getting gifts from his daughters for his B-Day and his wife forgot, so he made a stupid AI video for him. Yes, that's crazy. But like that's what I'm saying, where it's like they're not even solving a real problem. It's just like cool, like it's like a cool gag in a way, like right now. And so like they're just trying to force you to use it in some situation that is just unnatural. That's crazy. Miller didn't really talk to his wife in this case. The AI browser took a genuine act of human kindness and turned the exchange into something that feels impersonal, largely because it is. AI is further abstracting what it means to connect. At one point, connection meant talking in person. Then around the turn of the century, it migrated to text, sent over the internet. Now humans are starting to experiment using AI to talk with each other, and in some cases, just talking to AI, removing the need to connect with the human altogether. This also can't help but remind me of Silicon Valley, Guilfoyle AI, Dinesh and Guilfoyle. Guilfoyle AI. Yeah, it's like... Bro, what the fuck is the audio on this? I can't find it, but it's like, yeah, Anton. But it's just like Guilfoyle just like made an AI that could talk to Dinesh on his behalf, so he could do other things. It's like that's like what it's going to become. It's like we're going to have the AI agents that like, oh, I have a friend AI agent and it knows how to talk with all my friends, and then but it's going to become like the AI agents talking with their friends' AI agents, and then it's just going to become this whole smorgasbord of AI talking to each other, and there's zero human connection in between. But then it's going to come back and summarize the conversation to you, so then next time you do see your friends in person, then you'll have something to talk about, even though it's actually just the AI's talking about it. Yeah. Cyberpunk agents, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, exactly. In Cyberpunk, it's like those agents are like gonna... Yeah. So the whole like talking, the socializing part is weird, but having an AI agent to like, you're like, hey, can you book me this appointment, and it'll just like go and like figure out how to book the appointment, or like, hey, can you do this for me, and it'll actually like go on the internet and search and do everything. That's cool. That solves the problem. But like the socializing thing is so interesting. Okay. You could say I'm cherry picking this ad, but it's a story that tech companies keep accidentally telling over and over again. This part of the ad was likely intended to show how Dia could retrieve links from multiple web pages and understand the context, an impressive feat for an AI system these days. But this was yet another example of how generative AI can reduce our humanity. We all need an assistant, but not talk. Yeah, about talking. Yeah, to the boys. Exactly. Exactly. Or the wife. Partner, spouse, whatever. Consider Google's ad earlier this year, where a father and daughter used Gemini to create an AI-generated fan letter to their favorite Olympian. What? Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. The company later pulled the ad after facing backlash for taking a sweet father-daughter exchange and automating it away. That almost sounds like the Apple one you're talking about, too. Oh, here, maybe this is it. Or maybe you remember how Apple unveiled its AI features at WWDC this year, showing how you can go up to a stranger's dog. Oh yeah, point your iPhone at it and have the Apple Intelligence tell you what breed it is. It's like, bro, just fucking ask. Many people pointed out that you could just ask the stranger what type of dog they have, and maybe you would have found a friend alongside the dog breed. Like, yeah, this is like, it's like, come on. It's so out of touch. Apple Visual Intelligence enables you to use the camera to look things up. It will change the way you interact with iPhone. Maybe it's called cynical, but this example of looking up the cute dog is a perfect opportunity for two humans to connect in a human way. Apple Intelligence will have an enormous positive impact, no doubt, but this makes me wonder at what cost in the long term. Yeah. An autistic software engineer's wet dream. Yeah. Not having to talk anymore. Yeah, right. Oh gosh. Months earlier, Apple apologized for an ad it ran where the company quite literally crushed objects representing human creativity in favor of an iPad. It wasn't an ad for AI, but it had the same effect: technology that reduces our humanity. The most extreme example of these AI ads came from an AI startup called Friend. A startup released a promotional video showing how lonely young people could have a virtual companion in the startup's AI device that they wear around their neck instead of talking to others. That's crazy. I didn't hear about this. Help combat loneliness. Yes, I see. This is kind of where it's like they're just designing it in a way. You can design it in a way to help you, help with loneliness by interacting with other people, but they're choosing kind of the more like dystopian route of like not adding in human like into the design to like combat this. It's just kind of like, I don't know. And it's honestly, it seems like such a tech bro like way to solve problems. Like, like just I don't know. That's kind of what it just seems like in general. It's just like these are all just very tech bro-y ways to solve problems. Like, yeah. Like they're too lost in the sauce when it's like they kind of forget that you could just like do something that do you think that the people making this ad had the thought where it's like, I wonder like, could we just like ask the person, or like do you think they had that internal criticism of like, hey, do you think like this wouldn't look good because we could actually just ask the person? Like, I don't know. The age of tech bros coming crashing down. Dude, these next 4 years, tech bros, I mean, the biggest tech bro of them all, Elon Musk, is, has power. Like, yeah, the age of tech bro is coming. All right, uncomfortably honest. While these AI ads feel dystopian, there's something about them that also feels honest. These ads represent the ways people are actually using AI for today, even though it's unsettling when they demonstrate it on your screen. No way. I don't know about that. Some of the most common use cases of AI today are AI-generated art and AI companions. The former is usually a pretty low-stakes creative task, such as creating a picture or a short song. I don't believe that though. The most common AI today are AI-generated art and AI companions. AI companions, I know, are taking off, but I don't believe them that people are using AI companions more than like ChatGPT, like helping them with like, like Google, essentially like Google replacement. Companions thing is sad as fuck. Yeah, I mean that is. There's several kind of news stories that has been popping up about like people killing themselves and stuff and things, or just doing weird shit because the AI companion told them to. But yeah, some of the common use cases today of AI are agent or AI companions. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Teens are using companions. Yeah. Very impression. When like someone impressionable uses something that could, put a bad impression on them, that's crazy. Yeah, bad idea. Exactly. The latter can be surprisingly valuable. People are using chatbots to learn about things or talk through personal problems, much like they would an intelligent or sympathetic friend. Yeah, but learn about things is different than talking through personal problems. I don't know if like I would consider like learning about things as like a companion as it would just like reading Wikipedia or Google searching something or reading like a news article, learning about something. I feel like that's like, I don't know if I compare that like a companion. Art and companionship both feel very central to the human experience, and the fact that AI is being used for both of these things today is a reality some find uncomfortable to acknowledge. I don't know. But for every dystopian AI ad that stirs social media users into a frenzy, there are thousands of AI advertisements that fly under the radar. Why? Because most ads for AI mean nothing at all. Lots of companies have resorted to painting AI as this amorphous, magical children's book character with no specific use case, and yet implying that it can do almost anything. Yeah, I mean, like I feel like it's because it's kind of hard to pinpoint or like market something to a general public right now because it is so broad. There just is so many things you can use it for. So I mean, I don't know, I feel like that's not like bad. Here's an example of odd AI billboards seen around San Francisco. A chatbot, a friend. Intelligence so big you'd swear it's from Texas. These are just dumb. These are just like awareness campaign ads though. Like I don't know, like these aren't like anything. They are weird, but they're just like awareness shit, like just to put their name out there. They feel completely divorced from Anthropic as a company. Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of what they want you to think, because like Claude, they want you to think as Claude is more as like this like persona in a way. Like why else would they name it like a human name? But I mean, have there been ChatGPT ads? It's like, it's not like OpenAI is like running like ads for OpenAI. I'm sure they're running ads for ChatGPT. Intelligence so big you serve Texas. Adapt your workforce at the speed of AI. That's so broad. AI that talks to cars and talks to wildlife. That's Google. AI that talks to cars and talks to wildlife. Like, yeah, I don't even know what that one means. Gemini. Like, these are just cringe. But these are just like awareness campaigns, I feel like, though. It's not like you're gonna look at that and be like, oh yeah, like cool, like that's like, yeah, that's a good like use case or whatever. It's just like, I don't know. See what I mean? I have no idea what these things do, and yet it all feels inoffensive, vaguely describes AI in a magical way, and gets the product in front of my face. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's kind of the point. Okay, maybe that's the point. Yes. The banal tapestry of AI advertisements depicts the industries more accurately than any one company can. Most companies don't really know what AI is good for, and the ways people use AI today are somewhat discomforting, automating many of the very tasks that make us human. I don't know, like I this is definitely kind of an opinion piece. I'm realizing a bit more, but I don't know if I agree with that fully. Like they could market things that are like, help you learn. Like there are legit problems it solves. They just have to market it in a way that like presents that. And if they're doing some weird generalized things, then I mean, it's whatever. But if it's just for getting in front of people's faces, then like, I don't know. You might wonder why companies aren't making the obvious AI ad choices. AI does your boring job so you can spend more time at the beach with your friends and family or pursuing your passions. That's what Zoom CEO has laid out as his vision for AI, and it's probably the most optimistic outcome we've seen someone describe. Most readily available AI stuff is used for the things that make us human. Yeah, true. Perhaps the reason we're not seeing more tech companies promising future is because AI is not ready to do your job. That's how people can use them come more comfortably. Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, bro, who are they paying millions of dollars for these ad campaigns, bro? Put us in, coach. There's also a conflicting vision here. If AI can do some of your job, couldn't it replace you altogether? While it may be a while before AI can actually do your job, it seems most companies are steering clear of that message altogether. Damn straight. Can't say that. Yeah, this is I read something recently where it was about AI sales, in that generally with like software and more traditional SaaS, it's like you could kind of go to the people who use the product every day to kind of sell it to them as a way to like get awareness, and then they tell their manager, and kind of it goes up the chain. But now with AI, it's actually going the opposite, because you don't want to go to the people whose job you're going to replace to sell to. It's like you need to go to the decision makers up at the top who will decide to, make an AI agent that will then that will then take over your job, and they'll have to fire you. So it's kind of an interesting like shift in how they're kind of selling to enterprises now. I can't say what the right way to be promoting AI is right now, but I do think the status quo for AI ads is objectively strange. Whereas previous generations of technology promised to liberate us, connect us, and make us smarter, the overarching promise of AI is still unclear. If companies are looking for another uplifting message to sell their software with, automating core aspects of the human experience ain't it. This is a interesting read actually. This is like a more interesting thing I've read in a while. Maxwell Zeph. Good write up. Give him a follow. App markets. Yeah, this is interesting, and I think it's actually only going to get worse probably, if I were to guess. Because as AI gets better, it's getting better on general knowledge, and it's just, you know, they're gonna have to pick verticals to start advertising in to, or problems that like you could use it to solve to kind of get more awareness of just beyond like, you know, this magical being, and actually understanding how, you know, telling its customers how to solve like real world problems or use it in a way that would save you time or be useful to you. Putting my thoughts into words, which is nice because it's hard to do sometimes. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, this is an interesting read. I do wonder, as we get more consumer AI agent type of companies, I wonder what the marketing will look like for that, because the AI agents generally do solve a specific problem, and so I think that once we kind of get to more of these more like verticals that could actually be like solve problems, we could get clear marketing and people will kind of understand more of what actually needs to or what it actually could do for them. I think like Claude, OpenAI, or, you know, Anthropic, which, you know, has Claude, OpenAI for ChatGPT. We have Mistral for in their like LeChat, and then we'll have Elon Musk Grok. Although I don't know how like relevant that one's going to continue to be in terms of mainstream. But all of these, I feel like all of these kind of more bigger consumer type of AI companies are going to start rolling out more AI agent features that does more than just beyond kind of like prompting and maybe giving it files. Like once it actually could do more useful things with AI agents, I think we'll start to see more of a shift in marketing. Next year is a year of the AI agents. So yeah, interesting read. Drink. All right, what are we doing next? All right, let's look at this another look at more nuclear power news recent with Meta. And I've actually been doing some more reading on this, and like I do have some more thoughts on nuclear power, on like this stuff, because we still haven't seen like any of this come to fruition yet. Like there's a lot of talk and investments and money going into it, but there's been no actual product of like nuclear power, like small modular reactors, or like these kind of older nuclear power plants coming online. Like we just haven't seen anything yet. It's all been talk and like commitments and whatever. And so I don't know, until I actually see a small modular reactor being used in production at a like large scale, it's like I don't know if I really believe that this is gonna like solve our problems right now, because and there's also the waste problem, which is very politicized and there isn't a solution to still. So I'm not quite, yeah, I'm like still like bullish. I'm optimistic, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a little longer than we think, and there's going to be more hiccups in the way than that like throwing money at can't just solve, because of the political nature of some things. So yeah, let's see what Meta's getting into. Meta joins the nuclear power AI fray. Facebook parent Meta is seeking developers that can bring nuclear reactors online starting in early 2030s to support data centers and communities around them. Yeah, early 2030s. Like, I mean, we're still 10 years out probably. I would say about like 7 to 10. 10 seems long, but I don't know. Also, I feel like every nuclear power project is always delayed. So, yeah. Wonder if AI is being used for the elusive cold fission. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. Yeah, the like unlimited power, like whatever. Room temperature superconductor shit for whatever. I don't know. You, bro. All right, 2030s though. That's I don't know about that. Early 2030s. Why it matters. Meta is joining Amazon, Google, and other tech giants in turning to nuclear generation to fuel its energy-thirsty AI data centers with zero carbon electrons. The company just announced a request for proposal that targets a large pipeline, 1 to 4 gigawatts of new generation. Dang. That's a huge 1 to 4 gigawatts is big. And I wonder where. RFP. Announces a request for proposal to identify nuclear energy developers to help us meet our AI innovation and sustainability objectives, targeting 1 to 4 gigawatts of new nuclear generation capacity in the U.S. Qualified developers can fill out an intake form. See further guidance. One approach to this RFP so we can partner with others. We're taking an open approach so we can partner with others across the industry to bring nuclear energy to the grid. Interesting. Okay, let's read this first. It's seeking partners that can help accelerate the availability of new nuclear generators and create sufficient scale to achieve material cost reductions by deploying multiple units, an RFP summary states. While some tech players have unveiled nuclear deals with specific startups, Meta is casting a wide net for now. Yeah, I know Amazon and Google have both invested in specific startups. And this is also by 2030. More through 2035. 500 megawatts? Okay, that's actually not that much though. Yeah, but it's small modular reactor, so. And then Amazon invested in SMR, small modular reactor 1, 2. Yeah, Amazon announced Wednesday it signed an agreement with a regional utility, Energy Northwest in central Washington state to invest in developing 4 small modular reactors at its Columbia generating station in Richland, Washington. 320 megawatts, I mean, still small, but would potentially increase to 12 reactors producing 960 megawatts. This would be enough electricity to power 770,000 homes, according to Amazon. Or 1 data center. Just kidding. Actually, though. These pride of the grid would also help Amazon power Amazon operations. Amazon Web Services is one of the top cloud computing services worldwide. Yeah. And I think that the way that it works, I read this in like about like the state of Ohio, or like I want to say it was Ohio or like Illinois or something, one of those kind of states in that region. But I guess how it works is large corporations like who have data centers and such kind of pay up front for the cost of power that they want over a period of time, and then they kind of use that then to like make up for the price increase, because it'll increase demand for normal consumers, and so they kind of have to pay the difference there to make sure that it's not gonna affect consumers. But there's places like Tennessee where XAI, Elon Musk XAI company is building a huge data center, and people are worried that since they're going to gobble up so much natural gas over there, that it's going to potentially raise electricity prices for normal consumers because of the kind of supply and demand, just because of supply and demand. So yeah, that's an interesting problem, and that's now we're kind of, that's where we're getting into places where it's like, yeah, they should just be building their own power, so and also adding on some to the grid to kind of support their endeavors, but also give back for the electricity that they're kind of taking away from the normal homes, or the potential price that they may increase that they may cause. I wonder if they'll talk about that. Biggest constraint on the growth of the data center is scaling industries, available power. But they also did it in Virginia. Yeah, US East 1. Virginia is like one of their largest data centers. Dominion is the main utility serving Northern Virginia's data center alley. Yeah. Where many facilities are located. Dominion and other utilities across country are considering their options for how to get more electrons onto the grid quickly to keep up with rising energy demands from data centers, EVs, electrification of homes and businesses, and new manufacturing facilities. One of their cheapest, most ready-made options is build new natural gas plants, but those come at the cost of further contributing to climate change. Yeah. New integrated resource plan on Tuesday that shows low carbon resources, including nuclear, meeting 80% of its new energy demand during the next 15 years, and new natural gas plants at 20%. Interesting. U.S. energy demand tied to AI data centers would require utilities to increase annual generation up to 26%. That's crazy. Denman, along with David, Amazon related. I wonder if they talked about the. I think they don't. Yeah, interesting. So, okay, let's look at Meta now. Those side tangent. Meta's open to many ideas on the size and the type of reactors, the location, and more. Irvi Parek, Meta's head of global energy, said in an interview. That's kind of cool, I guess, that they're just like, yeah. The company is hunting for parties who are going to be there from the beginning to the end of a project. That is everything from finding real estate to permitting to design, construction, finance, operations, and more. I actually had a conversation with this dude in a Starbucks who built power plants like for contract. Like his job was municipals or cities would ever come to him like, hey, we need a power plant that could, power 60,000 homes, and then he literally does everything, builds it, and then maintains it for those people, and that's literally what he does. I mean, there's definitely people not people, like businesses like this who kind of just maintain, small to medium-sized power generation stations, although like 1 to 3 gigawatts isn't small, but yeah. I'm going to partner with those people today so that we can have the certainty that we're going to be there and that we can work for them to try and optimize the cycle to make it scale faster, she said. Meta is being geographically agnostic because places where reactors can be deployed the fastest may not tie to the specific data center sites, she said. Interesting. So they just want speed of getting it on the grid. The big picture, Meta is open to cost sharing early in the development cycle in addition to purchasing power when the projects are online. So this is where it is. So they're only gonna pay for some of it and then they'll purchase power once they're online. I thought they were gonna bankroll the whole thing. We want to be really open to creative solutions, she said. Parek noted that the project pipeline they're seeking to build is very large. Meta is hopeful that their approach can overcome industry hesitancy to deploy capital needed for that much development. Meta has long invested in renewable power projects. While nuclear is more heavily regulated and capital intensive, she sees parallels to their corporate renewable contracting that began over a decade ago. There were a lot of steps in that process, and there was a lot of need for certainty that there would be someone to buy the electricity on the other side. Meta seeking initial response by February 7th. All right, interesting. Oh, look here, yeah. Global VC investment in next-gen nuclear fission. Oh, this is fission. Wow, it's interesting that 2022 had a lot. Actually, same amount of deals as this year, but just less money. Interesting. That company is seeking direct tie-ups. Oh, maybe this is it, I think, actually. I don't think fusion is used anywhere, right? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think fission is just theoretical still, but I feel like, yeah, fusion is like the old way. I don't know. I guess I just think like fission is kind of just like fairy dust right now. Or whatever, like the new theoretical one is. I think it's fission, yeah. Fusion is old. Interesting. Fission is used. Oh, it is? Okay. I don't know then. I don't know. I'm not familiar with like the with that low. Probably should if I'm talking about it, but Microsoft Constellation planned to restart 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania. Amazon took a stake in advanced reactor company X Energy. Google linked up with Kairos Power. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission late Friday rejected a proposal that would have allowed Amazon data center to co-locate with an existing nuclear power. Oh yeah, actually I did cover this on stream. That's not what I thought this was about. Worries my ability, lack thereof, foresee large loads are coming. The 2-to-1 decision was published by the end of FRC conference with utilities, consumers, grid operators, and state regulators about how to smooth the process for new grid connections without straining the grid. Interesting. Let's take a look at Meta's actual announcement and then move on. Advancing technologies that will build the future of human connection, including the next wave of AI innovation, requires electric grids to expand and embrace new sources of reliable, clean, and renewable energy. Also, I know I mentioned like neoliberalism earlier, but like I feel like this is like the neoliberals' wet dream, where like this is what they hope, where you know, the corporations are using their money to improve everyday consumers' like lives in a way, and like this is what they want, where like they actually like use their extra, you know, money to, instead of just going into people's pockets, they use it to like solve problems that they'll need for, you know, things outside of kind of what they will be using. Like this is kind of what the neoliberals like want, and we're actually like kind of seeing it here in a way, in like a little bit, where like they're contributing to the power grid outside of what they necessarily need, just to kind of reduce the strain, because obviously it will benefit them in the long run and in the short run. And so that's kind of like primary driver, but like you know, the side result is that, you know, everyday consumers get, you know, less strain on the power grid, etc., and like everyday consumers could kind of get that benefit a bit, which is interesting. It's interesting. We're kind of seeing that. Supporting the development of clean energy must continue to be a priority as electric grids expand to accommodate growing energy needs. At Meta, we believe nuclear energy will play a pivotal role in the transition to a cleaner, more reliable, and diversified electric grid. That's why today we announced that we'll be releasing a request for proposal to identify nuclear energy developers to help us meet our AI and sustainability objectives. Do you have an existing NDA? The strong community engagement, development and permitting and execution expertise that have development opportunities for nuclear energy resources, either small modular reactors or large nuclear reactors. Please summarize your key qualifications. Interesting. Our aim is 1 to 4 gigawatts of nuclear generation capacity in the US to be delivered starting in the early 2030s. Accelerate the availability of new nuclear reactors, create sufficient scale to achieve material cost reductions by deploying multiple units, both to provide for Meta's future energy needs and to advance broader industry decarbonization. We believe working with partners. We believe working with partners who ultimately permit, design, engineer, finance, construct, and finance, bro. Operate these power plants will ensure long-term thinking. I'm so confused now, because like I thought they would just straight up pay them to build the thing, but now they're like, yeah, we'll give you like some money, and then we'll like, yeah, we might buy, you know, some power once you build it. Like, I don't know. Design and contract enables Meta and our developer partners to achieve our respective goals. We want to work creatively with developers to structure an agreement that will similarly enable development of nuclear technology. Nuclear energy projects are more capital intensive, take longer to develop, are subject to more regulatory requirements, and have longer expected operational life. These differences mean we need to engage nuclear energy projects earlier in their development cycle and consider their operational requirements when designing a contract. And as scaling deployments of nuclear technology offers the best chance of rapidly reducing costs, engaging with a partner across projects and locations will allow us to ensure that we can deploy strategically. So they want one people to work with a single partner across like multiple projects. As we look to our next decade of innovation and growth, we're planning for our data center. Dude, okay, I'm just like thinking about it now. Meta actually has insane control now because they're going to start funding and probably, you know, having power for power plants. They have data centers. They have the second most they drive the second most web traffic throughout all of their apps. They're building, I covered on stream the other day, literally I don't know, I don't think I have it saved. They're literally building a fiber optic cable that goes nearly 40,000 kilometers around the earth. Like, they're doing crazy shit, but like, it's so weird having this corporation like do all this stuff and like kind of having that much power on like everyday like things you use every day. It's weird that like a Facebook, you know, the owner of Facebook and Instagram would be like building shit like this. Yeah, Meta's a government. Yes, literally. And in you know, it's, you could use this like kind of like more abstract thinking with Amazon, Google, Microsoft. They probably own as much, they probably own land with how much land they own between all their data centers, warehouses, campuses. They probably own so much land too that like they could be a sovereign state or like a government. Like, you know, Amazon has healthcare, they have food, they have entertainment, they have shopping, they have the data, they have data centers. You know, it's like they have so much of this, like so many different verticals that they own the largest, you know, largest companies in. Yeah, I actually had a video. I was like working on like an idea about corporate consolidation and kind of like a pros and cons kind of thing, like what would be the negatives of it, but what could be positives. But I just kind of thinking about that because yeah, it's like, especially with Trump over the next few years, who, you know, I'm sure they're not going to be crazy on antitrust like Lena Khan was under Biden administration. You know, there's going to be a lot of with banks already that there are going to be a lot of mergers and acquisitions going on, and it's going to consolidate a lot more of these 4 years, especially banks. And I don't foresee them going after big tech or large corporations as much as Biden has in these last 4 years. So I mean, yeah, this corporate consolidation is like a legit thing. I think the biggest downside though is the innovation. I mean, we in the Google lawsuit with Google kind of being broken up and now theoretically, possibly, maybe, it's a lot of like they don't really care to innovate or actually improve their product because they're the best one and there's not really much of other choices to go to. That's kind of the biggest downside is like, yeah. Anyways, yeah, side tangent. Going forward is commitment important ever, support our vision, operating sustainably. As our sector continues to grow, we're committed to working across the industry to advance sustainability commitments. Yeah, crazy. Nice voice, thank you. Appreciate it. Deadly Sandrax tuning in. All right, let's see. We got another topic here. Oh, okay. Let's watch let's read about this one because this one's a bit off, but I'm very optimistic and interested. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I'm optimistic. I think that they're going against physics here, and I think that's hard. And maybe their fundraising round recent fundraising round for Spin Launch maybe was a bit of an indicator where Spin Launch raises $11 million, hope to raise much more, sources say. And Spin Launch is the company that is essentially spinning this, you know, they have this thing here, and they spin it really fast, and then in hopes to launch something into space, or at least like low Earth orbit or kind of near space. New way to get to space. Suborbital accelerator. Yeah, let's watch we'll actually watch this here just so we can get hyped up on it. Before we take a look. They're not the best fundraising round. I was at the car. Are you talking about those like alien spaceship things where it's like, you know, pushes you against the wall? That's funny. That's like that's such a funny comment. It's like such like a, you know, like I can see like an old guy's like, oh, those things at the carnival. He was like the guy working there is always way crazier, like standing on the walls and shit. It's funny. No commentary? But I mean, that is the best comparison to like a normal thing. That's actually what they're doing. Okay. Centripetal force, yeah. No, yeah.
Alright, everybody prepare for launch. Naval countdown. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Alright. It's just spinning really fast. But like, when I'm drinking, I got some mushroom coffee. Everyday dose. Would recommend. And I actually take a little Starbucks instant coffee pack and I just sprinkle a little bit more to add a bit more caffeine in there. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know. The first time hearing mushroom coffee. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I think it's kind of new. Oh, here, everyday dose. This is what I'm drinking right here. Would recommend this. It has a little actual coffee in it, but then it just has a bunch of other like kind of, I don't know, healthy stuff for you. There's also Rise, but this one is not the best. Mushroom coffee. How do you make it? It's literally an instant, like you just mix it in water. Like it's just a little scoop here, you just put it in water and I don't know, I just have like a little, like one of those like mixer things and just mixes it up. I add almond milk into it. You could add water. I did oat milk for a little bit. Yeah, it's really easy. A coffee replacement for now, and energy drink replacement. Oh, this thing is huge too. Yeah, here we go. It just literally spins. A high-performance carbon fiber tether that supports the projectiles that accelerates its launch speed. Does it taste good? It tastes like coffee, you know? So, I mean, if you like how coffee tastes, iced coffee tastes, then, you know, if you like it. It doesn't taste like any, like, mushroom or whatever. This other one, Rise, that I was talking about, this one does taste like some mushroom blend, and it's not the best, but the Everyday Dose one is pretty good. So overall testing, yeah, facility. So I want to know if they've had any customers yet. Yeah, I would recommend. It's like reasonably priced. It's like $30 for a bag, and it's like 30 cups essentially. So it's comparable in price. Actually saves money if you get like energy drinks and stuff. Okay, this is October 31st. This is a while ago. New leadership roles to accelerate the commercialization. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, anyways. Okay. I'm California. California. What about you? Sure. Guess. Guess my age? Okay. Yeah, ASL. Last 4 digits, like, yeah. Bank. Exactly. I'm from England. Oh, sweet. I was just watching the show Veep last night. I was watching their London episode. It's what is it? Pretty late for you then right now, right? England time. Oh, 7 p.m. Perfect. Right around chill time after dinner. Oh, I just messed my mouse sensitivity up. There we go. Yeah, so the spin launch thing, what's something that I'm still mixed feelings about. 27, 28, yep, guess right, man. Guess right. What was that? I don't understand the forces. So like whatever payload you're gonna put in this little tiny thing for one, but like the forces that it exerts have to be more than launching a rocket to space. And I don't know how, like you'd have to design specifically around like surviving such high like gravitational forces being spun like that. And I feel like that alone probably like rules out a bunch of things that you could, you know, that you want to send to space. So yeah, I don't know. That was the first thing I thought about when I think about this. Regardless of if you could get up there. No, not for passengers. Not for passengers. I imagine payloads like satellites, but even, yeah, that's what I would think of. Okay, here we go. But even then, like imagine if you have a satellite and like these might be fuel here. Like I like that fuel, like the forces put on the stresses of like this. I guess it has to survive the vacuum of space. So like I'm sure that has to be strong in general too. But oh yeah, no, I said you're spot on, man. Yeah, Spin Launch is building Enterprise class satellites. Oh, so they might be going the same route as like Rocket Labs, who is a kind of SpaceX competitor. Orbital space cannon, low orbit ion cannon. Remember that like DDoS tool? Low orbit ion cannon, I think. Like I'm a charge on my lasers. Yeah, Rocket Labs is they're kind of a SpaceX competitor, but how they set themselves apart is that they actually do a full stack. So you could a company could go to them and be like, hey, I have an idea for a satellite, and they'll work you through ideation to manufacturing to everything, and they'll do all of this for you. It seems like this is kind of what they're doing too, how they're building, like they actually build the satellites for you, probably because they're, like I was saying, there need to be specific kind of specific requirements that are kind of weird to be able to like launch in, you know, their little centripetal force slingshot. And realistically, that's probably also a better business in general too, because I imagine just launch costs alone, unless you have like, you know, the most efficient rocket like SpaceX, or, you know, have it down more, you know, it takes longer to get profitable, and these aren't big payloads either. Although that actually could be a benefit. You know, it's very cheap because it's smaller payloads. They could reload it much quicker. They don't have an actual rocket going up, you know, to space that they need to maintain, you know, get debris from, do whatever. That's a lot of cost. So I don't know. A new class of ultra low cost satellites. By utilizing mass manufacturing design principles and reducing supply chain complexities, we lower in other words, military industrial complex. Haven't mentioned the military industrial complex in a while. Just had to throw it out there. We lower satellite costs without any impact to performance. Our satellites are uniquely designed for a mass accelerator environment while remaining qualified for traditional launch systems. Interesting. It's like MIC, or military industrial complex. Yeah, Mike. Try. I want to. I don't know what permissions are for it. Oh. Times alternate. It's funny. Well, it's interesting. In the YouTube chat, it responded with a different number. It responded with 2, not 9. Anyways, yeah. Okay, here. Okay, actually, I've never looked this closely into it. I've only kind of read things and looked a lot earlier on, but so 12U. So these are like tiny CubeSats essentially. Oh, so this is also interesting because it seems like they're kind of taking the more catalog approach too, where they probably have a catalog of like satellite designs that then you could kind of pick from, and then they'll retrofit what you want in it into the satellite, which is probably beneficial because they could have a bunch of these, you know, kind of the shell of these already being made and like already queued up, and then you come to them and they kind of just install the guts of the satellite to fit what problem you want or your need, and then it's, you know, it's much quicker turnaround time. Sure, man, ask away. So the S-20 is a low-cost, mass-manufactured satellite bus design for rapid development and deployment of commercial constellations. It is the ideal size mix for a range of applications, including low Earth orbit constellations like SpaceX's Starlink, that provide services such as automatic dependent surveillance broadcast (ADSB), Internet of Things, automatic dependent surveillance broadcast. It's like surveilling. Internet of Things, machine-to-machine communication. Interesting. Automated identification services or emergency communication platforms. The bus is also ideal suited for prototyping, technology developments, and experimental such as scientific research, space systems, R&D, flight heritage qualifications, or Earth observation. Yeah, so they must have a satellite that they could kind of, it's more modular. You could kind of swap in and out different things that allow them to meet different needs, but also being able to mass manufacture. That's not a bad design. I'm sure it limits the capabilities to an extent, but yeah, I guess it's very specific. 20 kilograms and only 100 watts of available solar array. That's interesting. That's not that much. How long have I been covering the news? I just started streaming seriously probably past like 2-ish months, maybe a month and a half. But I mean, I've been a news junkie for a while. Four kilogram payload mass. Yeah, this is not round. Okay, let's look at the oh, I see. So this is their different models. So this is the S200, which is 200 kilograms. 200 kilograms. I need to see them launch this thing. And a reaction wheel, that's interesting, is a custom reaction wheel specifically designed for use in both spin launch mass accelerator as well as traditional launch systems. They're a reaction wheel, so they must need this to like for launching. I guess this is probably yeah, these are like all of their like specific. This is probably just for space to moving around. Thanks, man, appreciate it. Yeah, I stream Monday through Thursday around 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'm not sure what your time is, but cover tech news mainly. Also stream on YouTube if you prefer YouTube. Yeah, so it seems like these are kind of all their like different yeah, man. These are kind of different like modular pieces to the system that you could kind of put in there. Do you have any plans about streaming? Do I have any plans about streaming future? I'm not sure if I know what that means. I mean, I'm continuing to give this a go and try and, you know, content creation thing until further notice, until I'm forced not to. Okay, let's look at the actual what their diminished hopes are. And I do wonder, like, if they have any customers still, actually, if they make money realistically. Make sure this is aligned. Okay. Yes, space startup spin launch excuse me, is fundraising again, though sources tell TechCrunch that it was exploring raising a significant more ambitious sum earlier this year. The company has closed an $11.5 million round out of a planned $25 million. Dang, like not even half of what they wanted. according to a filing with the U.S. Security and Exchange Commissions. SpinLaunch confirmed funding to TechCrunch, but did not comment on the amount raised. It last raised $71 million. Oh my gosh. That is such a big drop. To learn anything from watching the Silicon Valley show, it's like you can't keep raising less money, but then it looks like you're failing. And this was about 2 years ago. Launches a new round to fling payloads into space. Yeah. And who backed them? SpinLaunch. So they've only 150 million. That is not that much for a space. You know, space startups are kind of pretty capital intensive, and like it does take a lot of money to get up off the ground. Like manufacturing some custom thing like this, I'm sure is like, you know, a heavy penny. Who backed them? Kleiner, Perkins, Atma Capital, McKinley. I haven't really heard of any of these guys. Hey, Chuck Brady. Interesting. Okay. But a person familiar with the company's plan told TechCrunch that the startup had talked to investors around 9 months ago, hoping they would pile into a $350 million round at $2 billion valuation. That is crazy. What a drop, bro. What a drop. That's crazy. In response to a question about the fundraising's target, SpinLaunch CEO David Wren said the figures were highly inaccurate and misleading, in that he was pleased with our recent closed financing. Okay, I mean, like, if they're inaccurate and misleading, then like, what are the numbers? SpinLaunch made a splash back in 2018 with ambitious plans to build a kinetic launch system as a low-cost, high-cadence alternative to rockets. Yeah, I think the high cadence is a big benefit of this because you don't actually have a full rocket. You can just kind of like spin that bad boy up, you know, install the new one, do whatever maintenance you need before the next one, and then you're good to go. No fueling or anything like that. Instead of vertically launching a satellite on top of a rocket, SpinLaunch's proposal is to spin up those payloads to high Gs inside a vacuum chamber before flinging them up to orbit. Oh, it's vacuum on the inside. I'm sure because, you know, it's like a physics class's dream. It's like a physics professor's dream. It's like, don't worry about friction or whatever. It's like, pretend that doesn't exist. Like, you know, it's like there's a vacuum inside. So yeah, I'm sure air friction is not. Air friction would cause a lot of you couldn't get it up to higher speeds with the air friction, so. You started my journey as a streamer, so may I draw you free line art? No need to pay. We can do business later if we become friends. Hat, you think? I mean, you're welcome to, man, but yeah, no guarantee. You know, just having you around is nice, so. Yeah, I'll check out your Twitch here after this though. If you're starting out, I'm starting out too. So, I mean, I don't. You're welcome to do anything. You could like tweet it at me or something. I have a Twitter. But yeah, I'll leave that up to you, man. All right. The company has made some compelling claims about its system, that it will be able to put an up to 200 kilogram satellite into orbit for just $250,000. Wow. Then what did the smaller ones cost, I wonder? If it's the same multiples, 20 kilograms, 250, like they could be cost like, you know, everyday people could just pay a few $1,000s to get a satellite in space. Like, that's cool. And it will be able to launch up to 5 to 10 times per day. Yeah, wow. It was making progress. SpinLaunch has conducted 10 suborbital tests using a smaller version of the new accelerator at New Mexico Spaceport, America, where it maintains a long-term lease. Wow. Oh, so the one that they have built isn't even this isn't even full size yet. And so it seems like, yeah, they want to build it like on a mountain or something. I kind of saw in their pictures here. Found your IG Discord. It's all right, man. I don't really have a public Discord right now. That's something in the future, but I'm on YouTube. I don't really have an Instagram. I have all my socials are linked below, so You can email me on my website. Yeah. Yeah, so this seems to be a full-size one. The geographical... Yeah, it's all right. It's all right, man. We're we're talking about the news here, so welcome to hang around. Suborbital accelerator. Yeah, so this one is the suborbital accelerator. That makes sense, actually. That's interesting. I didn't realize that this was only for suborbital stuff. I thought this was like their full size thing. Okay, so that actually gives me a bit more optimism, but I think I'll won't be fully bought in until they actually do full like low Earth orbit, or like launches from here to space, just flinging a thing really quick. It's crazy. The company was considering raising raising such a massive sum to essentially compete with Starlink. The person familiar with the plan says, yeah, throwing shit in space at super speed. Yeah, like it's crazy. The first plan came to light in 2021 when Spin Launch filed an application with the FCC to operate a 1,200 satellite constellation to provide global broadband service from space. Okay, so this is interesting, and now it seems like these space companies are kind of taking the same route. This is the same pattern as other tech companies, where they're kind of going more vertical. They're creating a launch service that they could, and a satellite building service, but then they're also building their own product, kind of dog fooding. In like tech, we kind of call it dog fooding, where like you use the product you built to build your product, or to use it in your business to create their own constellation, which will probably help fund them and also create a different diversify revenue. And that's kind of like software company. That's why like they these big tech companies are looking at build their own data centers. It's kind of the equivalent, where they could use that data center for themselves, but then they could also sell the space. Google Cloud Platform, Amazon Web Services. Like Google themselves uses their own cloud platform, Amazon uses their own cloud platform, but then they could also sell it to other companies. It seems like it's kind of something similar to this, where it's like this launch system is actually just the data center that they could then use themselves, and they could also sell to launch other things into space. And then they also have this other line of revenue that they're using their other product that they built to operate this giant satellite constellation to provide internet service. It's definitely a pattern that is used in other places, and it's interesting how it's kind of being used now in space. And SpaceX does exactly that now with Starlink, and launching on their own. Essentially, they're launching Starlink rockets for free, because you could just add in you do rideshare, where people pay to have their satellites launch into space, and then with the extra space, they just put in their Starlink satellites, and it's essentially a free ride to space for SpaceX's own stuff. And then, they make money off of people paying on top of that. So yeah, it's a good business model, and it's kind of interesting that they wanted to do that. I would not expect them to do that. But if you could launch rockets for such a cheap price, or launch things into space for such a cheap price, you kind of having your own business like that is a good idea. The company, under the name of its subsidiary SN Space Systems, initially filed an application in November 2021 with the U.S. Federal Communication Commission for the constellation. The company met with FCC personnel last September to discuss the application, according to one document filed with the regulator from Spin Launch's former senior regulatory counsel, Michelle McClure. But how close the company may be getting to its application approved unclear. Dang. There have been signs that the 10-year-old startup, and I didn't even realize they're 10 years old. I don't know if that's good or bad, considering they haven't even got to their full product launch in 10 years. All right, cool, man. Cool, thank you. I'll check it out after stream. Last October, Spin Launch brought on 2 new board members, including aerospace executive Domhnall Slattery as a chairman, a new role. Okay. Then this March, the board members appointed Ren, the company's former CEO, to the chief executive position, which had been held by Spin Launch's founder, Jonathan Yaney. I also think, I understand like these like smaller space companies wanting to bring on like seasoned people in the aerospace industry. I just don't know how much value someone coming from a like military industrial complex style like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, like Raytheon, I don't know how much value they would bring, because no offense, like I feel like their kind of mindset is still this like old mindset where these spin launches, like these other space startups, they're startups, and they need to be moving quickly in a different mindset than they would be for these larger like industrial kind of companies. Yeah, the benefit value is the people they know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, true, that's true. Help grease some palms. Yeah, that's a good reason to bring them on. Yeah, I guess maybe it also, you know, yeah, it's kind of like even the people they know, but even their old knowledge could still be valuable in to know like the mistakes that they made, or maybe that they have a more forward looking like mindset where like, yeah, the way that it's being done is bad, and so like I want to make sure that we kind of do things that don't fall into the bad industrial status quo in a way. Yeah, good old advisor role. Yeah, no, true. And that's kind of what board members are in a way. It's like, yeah, they just kind of there because like they have resources or like some knowledge, or like they know people who could, you know, get things going or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting, especially as the chairman. Amidst the leadership shakeup, the company had been quietly pursuing a very small Alaskan island as the site for its first orbital accelerator. Alaskan island? What? Spin Launch signed an MOU. What's an MOU stand for? Like to convey its intent. Something memorandum of understanding. Memorandum of understanding. We actually read that in here. We read that here. Memorandum of understanding to convey its intent to site its accelerator in Adak, Alaska. Around 18 months ago. I've been watching Deadliest Catch. We've been watching Deadliest Catch, and Adak, Alaska is where one of the boats is from. Interesting. Bering Sea. The Adak City Council later sent a letter of support for the plans to the Aleut Corporation, the Alaska Native Regional Corporation that Spin Launch has been working with. Adak City Manager Leighton Lockett confirmed to TechCrunch that the letter of support, which was sent April 17th, is the last substantive update on the city's involvement with either Spin Launch or Aleut, however. Dang. April 17th. In his response to TechCrunch, Ren did not directly address the status of the satellite constellation application or plans to build an orbital accelerator in Adak. However, he added that the company has met its investment and revenue objectives this year. Wow, okay, I mean, that's good. And that the new financing will help accelerate the commercialization of our disruptive space technology and advance Spin Launch's integration suite of low-cost sustainable space solutions. So I wonder then, let me finish this here. Spin Launch has grand ambitions, building a massive satellite constellation and a kinetic launch system, but as so often the case in space, funding and execution are another case entirely. Yeah. I do wonder if maybe they're trying to actually get customers first before they like actually build out their like full size one, because or they're having like second thoughts. Like 10 years is a long time to not even have started building like the actual product. Like I understand tests and they have the suborbital one, but like that's been going for a while. Like you'd think that they'd want to be moving quick now because they need to make money. Like they don't, you know, their fundraising is, they didn't fundraise as much money as they thought. So like you just kind of want to moving quicker now. Be like, okay, well, we kind of need to take it to market now because our runway is a lot shorter. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm optimistic still though, and I really do hope that we get these alternative kind of launch systems, or at least try to get these alternative launch systems as an alternative to kind of the more traditional launch. You know, there's also like environmental considerations, which are very big for rocket launches. This seems to have almost none of it, you know, which is, you know, impressive, and that would help. But it's also cheap. You could do a bunch. Like this is an interesting tech to like get other space companies going and maybe innovating a little bit more. Yeah, 100-meter diameter. It's like as big as a football field. That's crazy, actually. That's so big. 35-degree angle. Can I open this? Or could see this being adopted by a country without other means to get acceptance space. That's a very good point. That's a great, that's a great case. And like considering that like it probably needs like if it's on a mountain like this, places where that otherwise have very mountainous type of environment could benefit, because they could build this on a side of a mountain versus having to flatten out areas maybe to like as large as a rocket launch pad, or the space needed to get that. And also imagine getting an actual rocket into the mountains, or a country that's very mountainous. Like that's next to impossible too. If you could just build this thing, and then, you know, the payloads are very small, you just need a truck to come in. Like that's also a great benefit. New Zealand. Well, actually this Rocket Labs that I'm calling, they're New Zealand. They're actually based out of New Zealand. They have a rocket launch place in New Zealand. I don't know who to say it, but yeah, just by chance. But bro, what is this font down here? I can't even read this. You were joking? Yeah, this is new. This is like, it's right on the coast. It's kind of cool. And they also have one they have a launch site, I want to say in California, Florida. Yeah, this is it. Rocket Lab Complex Launch 1. Kind of cool. But one thing kind of on that similar note though is that the rocket is it's smaller. It's pretty small. So that kind of allows them to I'm sure transport it easier and things. So yeah, New Zealand, there's a New Zealand flag. Yeah, these are pretty small actually. In like when you're comparing to like Falcon Heavy or Falcon 9 and such. Cool. Yo, what's up? Yeah, I said I'd take a look at your Twitter here after stream. Yeah, 56. Yeah, they have 3 launch pads. Okay, wow. They've actually haven't done as many as I thought. 4. They've only made 4 satellites. They've deployed 230 of customers. Yeah, interesting. And Electron's actually a public company. Their stock is not doing too hot. Electron, Rockets stock. Oh no, Rocket Lab stock. I thought about just buying some just to like, cause why not? $22. It hasn't been doing too hot, I don't think though. Oh my gosh, bro, that's probably why I looked at it probably about a month ago and it was like pennies. It's like $4. Just skyrocketed. Yeah. What did they just like start making money all of a sudden? Their PE ratio, they don't have one, so that means that they're probably not making money. Oh, they got a CHIPS Act award. 35 from 30 to 25. Oh, they actually sold shares. They raised money. That's interesting. It was like their stock skyrocketed. Like, bro, we could use this money. It's like, yeah, they sold $100 million in shares. Yeah, the chip. I mean, now it's like Now it's too late. Yeah, the CHIPS Act, but they secured key contract but posed big earnings miss. After Q3 beat, 55% sales spike. Yeah, that's crazy. Interesting. Now I just pick up a few. I'm gonna do the portfolio rebalance here at the end of the year. Anyways, all right, that's all I got planned for today's stream. What today? Today is Wednesday. All right. See what pops up for tomorrow's stream. I don't want to find another AI startup to highlight. Like the World's AI one I did, that was cool, but I want to find another one. I've been going for a lot of news though. It's essentially like all the like Silicon Valley people browse this, and so it's kind of tailored to that, and it's perfect because it's tailored to like what I cover on stream. But tech meme. All right, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. seems to be a good time working for me, or streaming for me. 8 a.m.'s a little too early. 9 a.m. 10's too late. 9's a good middle for now. So yeah, tomorrow 9 a.m. Ow. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you showing up. Yeah, thank you. Then shout out to the new viewer, Deadly Sandrax. Thanks for tuning in. So see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, agree on the time. Okay, cool. Yeah, see you guys tomorrow 9 a.m. Thanks for watching.